Tucker Carlson did a segment on the issue of Afghanistan, but take note of the way in which he dances around the elephant in the room. This is interesting.
Well, within about 20 minutes, you started seeing stories in the usual propaganda outlets claiming the president hates our troops. Criticize the Pentagon and you hate the troops. No one's writing stories like that about Joe Biden. Biden has been a defender of the defense industry for decades. Back in 2003, he was an avid defender of the invasion of Iraq.
Some of my own party have said that it was a mistake to go to Iraq in the first place. The cost of not acting against Saddam, I think, would have been much greater. And so is the cost, and so will be the cost, of not finishing this job.
So, under Biden presidency, our foreign policy is likely to change. And the question is how? Well, in May, Joe Biden's foreign policy advisor gave us a preview of that. He's a man called Tony Blinken. He said he considers America's military presence in Syria to be, quote, leverage.
And to the extent the United States had any remaining leverage in Syria to try to effectuate some more positive outcome, unfortunately, the Trump administration has more or less torn that up too, pulling out entirely in Syria has taken away significant leverage.
Significant leverage. Well, it turns out we haven't pulled out of Syria. In fact, we learned today that there are more American troops in Syria than any of us knew. The Pentagon apparently lied to the administration about that. So we're not leaving Syria because it's leverage. Are we ever leaving Afghanistan? Apparently the administration is trying to pull out in the next month. Is it going to work?
It's amazing to me that he does these segments and he calls out the elites and the establishment, the deep state, endless war, but he always stops short of criticizing Trump or chastising Trump or saying, "You're the commander-in-chief. No excuses. Get all the troops out now." He's been in office for a while now. What is he waiting for? And don't give me this nonsense about, oh, he stonewalled at every turn. He could still override them. Yes, every couple months, Trump goes to Twitter and says, "We're getting out of Afghanistan." And then everybody's like, "Oh, good." And then behind the scenes, somebody's like, "We're not going to do that." And he's like, "You're right, we're not going to do that." He is the commander-in-chief. He can override these people. So override them. Override them. See, there's the problem with Trump. He's what I call a path of least resistance guy. And so he just wants everything to run smoothly while he's president. And he'll go out there and make the case that I'm amazing, I'm tremendous, we're making America great again, it's unbelievable. And he loves the rally portion of him being president. But behind the scenes, he's like, just keep everything functioning. No, take a stand, pull the troops out. He criticizes people on the issue of Syria and acts like they want us to be in Syria, that's crazy. And then he admits we have more troops in Syria now than ever before. So why are you not blaming Trump for that? Why are you not blaming Trump for us still being in Afghanistan and Iraq? He can get us out of these places. He has chosen not to get us out of these places. He's acquiesced. That's not okay. So I'm perpetually amazed by Tucker because he does these segments and it's like, the person who deserves the most blame is the guy who you're protecting the most. Say it. What are you doing? What are you waiting for? It's Trump. For fuck's sake, you're close enough with him where you could call him or you could text him and you could be like, you got to get out of Afghanistan and Iraq and you got to do it right now. You got to do it right now. See, this is the stuff that drives me crazy. It's like, even with like the populist stuff and, yeah, I'm against outsourcing and I'm against all these terrible trade deals. Trump's 2017 tax cut law incentivized outsourcing. Let me repeat that. Trump's 2017 tax cut law incentivized outsourcing. It also cut the corporate tax rate massively. If you're really a populist and you really care about the people on this, why did you not call that out? That was a terrible law. Why didn't you call that out? 83% of the benefits of that went to the top 1%. That's not populist. All the deregulation Trump's done, that's not populist. So it's just, it's a farce, it's a scam. It's a PR effort. You know, it's a marketing ploy. Like, oh, I see that we're in a populist era and this is what the people want, so let me position myself there, even as your president perpetuates business as usual. So yeah, I agree. All that criticism of Joe Biden, totally co-sign, 100%. All the criticism of the people in the Pentagon, the people in the intelligence agencies who are keeping us in all these wars, I agree 1,000,000%. But I go a step further than Tucker. I first and foremost blame Trump because he's president now, in the same way that I blamed Obama when Obama wasn't getting us out of the wars when he said he would. I blamed Obama. Why? Because it was his fault. The buck stops with him. He's commander-in-chief. The buck stops with Trump. He's commander-in-chief. So get out. Get out right now. There are whispers that maybe the firing of Esper and other top Pentagon officials was because he wants to get out of Afghanistan. I don't know if that's true yet. We'll see. We'll see. But he says, we're supposed to get out within the next month. What does that mean, get out now? Just get out right now. He was saying he was going to get out in the first year, and we haven't. If anything, we've increased troop levels. Even in his recent interview with Jonathan Swan of Axios, he was like, we're going to get out. And Jonathan Swan pushed him on it, and he's like, how many troops will be in there when the election comes or when it's time for you to go in January? And he was like, a couple thousand. Okay, that's not getting out. You can't say that's getting out. That's not getting out. Getting out is no more troops there. Couple thousand. He may have even said like 4,000 troops there. It was anywhere from 2 to 4. I don't remember exactly what he said. But that's not getting out. Criticize him first and foremost. Him. But no. It's DC elites want the U.S. to remain in endless wars. Right. Including the ultimate elite, the President of the United States, who's also the Commander-in-Chief. Funny how the criticism was soft on him, but heavy on Biden.